The reason that you return to wrong actions are three. Al-ghaflatu anil nadam. That you forget your nadama, your remorse. You go into a heedlessness about your remorse. Aw tanaddum. عند تذكاره. Or you forget to recollect. When you're thinking about what you did wrong, you forget to renew that remorse. So he says, because of that, the wrong action will actually, the picture, that form of that wrong action will become fixed in the self. ترتسم صورته في النفس حتى تجد خلسة من الغفلة لتمكينه عند اشتغال القلب بما هو مستغرق له في العلوم والأعمال. Is that this form of this wrong action will get fixed in the self, and then it will sneak in through heedlessness because of its deeply rooted nature in the heart's preoccupation with it. And certainly with many things, these are rooted in the self. A lot of the wrongs that we do are rooted in the self, like envy. Envy is very common in human beings. Ujub. It's very common in human beings. Kibr. Ghiba is very common amongst human beings. Lust is very common. These things are all part of human nature. So what he's saying is, because of the fixed nature of many of these things in yourself, if you're not resolute about this, it creeps back in. It creeps back in and we're not even aware of it. And then he said the second reason, here the second da'iyah, is المسامحة بإعادة الطرف لمحله أو سببه أو وقته ولو في لحظة وإن كانت على وجه من الاعتبار إلا مع تكرار الندم وتحقيق الأنفة وهي أتم من الندم. He's saying that the second reason is that المسامحة بإعادة الطرف is that you allow your eye to go back to that thing, either the place or the reason or the time that wrong action occurred. There's a revisitation, even if it's a moment, and even if it was just thinking about it, like i'tibar, taking some lesson from it. إلا مع تكرار الندم, unless you repeat the remorse وتحقيق الأنفة, and you have a contempt for it, you look down on it, which he says is actually more atam min al-nadam. In other words, you have remorse is one thing, but to actually feel contempt towards that thing, to look down on it and see it as a low thing, is actually stronger than having remorse about it, because you belittle the wrong action. You have contempt for it. Because if you don't have this contempt, قد يثير رقة وحلاوة ولا سيما مع تجدد محل الأذى وهو نفس الفعل. If you don't have that contempt for it, you might actually remember it with pleasure, with some kind of sweetness. There's a sweet memory to it. If it was an experience that was pleasurable at the time, which is why you might have done it, then in not having this anafa, when you look at it, then you feel some sweetness, especially if it's in the same place where it occurred and the same action. الثالث الثقة بالناس في عزمها وحسن الظن بها في حالها ومراجعة محل السبب لاختبارها. The third reason, he's telling you the reasons why you go back to wrong actions. The third reason is trusting the soul in its resolution to not go back to wrong actions. And also having a good opinion of the soul in the state that you're in now. So you've made tawbah and now you're feeling good about yourself. You're in a better state than you were in before. And also going back to the same place that caused it as a way, in a sense, of testing the self. So you say to yourself, I can handle this now. I feel really secure. I'm not like that anymore. I used to be weak, but now I'm strong. So you go back to the same place where the wrongs occurred. He said this is the third reason why this will happen. And then he says, فَإِنَّهُ وَلَوْ بِإِخْطَارِ ذَلِكَ عَلَى الْبَالِ دُونَ تَأَمُّلٍ